Welcome to our first episode of Bhbl BS, where we're going to be talking about some of the best and some of the worst about Bhbl. This is going to be a bit of a controversial thing. If you're worried about getting offended, don't watch this. That's your responsibility. You don't like getting offended, don't watch this. That's your problem, all right? You don't have to watch it. You don't have to like it. I don't actually care.
Yeah, damn straight.
Damn straight, right? All right, so we're going to be talking about the best and the worst, right? What is something that just sucks about Bhbl? Something that sucks.
Sucks.
I got something for you.
All right.
So Bhbl is I would define Bhbl as being a small school, right?
Yeah.
So one of the problems with Bhbl is that everybody knows everything about everybody to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Or at least it's small enough that everybody thinks they know everything about everybody.
Yeah.
And we are going to be doing some serious generalization on here. So if we're wrong and we say bad crap about you, correct us and we will correct ourselves.
Yep.
But we don't know everything. But a lot of people feel like they do. And unfortunately, as a result of this, there is this problem in Bhbl where everybody feels like they know everything about everybody, and a lot of times they kind of do. And it just means that if you do something bad or do something people think is bad,
it'll circle around. Everyone will hear about it.
Right?
Yep.
If you go to Shen, right, there's still 500 people who don't even know you exist.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I kind of wish I had that, except I'm glad I don't go to Shen, because Shen is an even worse school because it's full of garbage drugs. Interesting thing, you can totally tell what type of school a school is based on the drugs they have there. Boston Spa, what do they have?
I mean, I know they have a lot of vaping going on there, more actually than our school.
I mean, there's actually vaping has gone down a lot at Burnt Hills.
Yeah, I know. After those signs.
You know what? I don't think the signs have anything to do with it. I think people are just worried that they're literally like gonna get like Mr. Brunson's like gonna beat the shit out of him. I don't think Mr. Brunson would do that, but he's kind of scary, right?
Yeah.
You know, and he doesn't even scare me because like I'm not worried about him. Like he becomes less scary. Like I'm not doing that crap at school. Like that's just dumb. But, But anyways,
retarded.
You can learn some really interesting stuff about the drugs about a school based on the drugs they use there. So heroin. Excuse me. Boston Spa, they have heroin, right?
Really?
They use a lot of heroin there. There's a lot of there's harder stuff, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. That's the
as
whole
you get richer, like you go to a place like Burnt Hills, we have more pills, right? Then you go to a place that's really rich, like Shen, and it's just
chaos.
It's just chaos. They've got everything, right? But it's mostly pills, right? They're not going to use heroin or something like that there because they've got the money to pay for Oxycontin, which is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Except slightly more legal. To a certain degree.
Yeah, I mean, it's prescribed, but, you shouldn't take it to excess.
But anyways,
obviously.
We're going to be talking about the good and the bad of Burnt Hills. And one of the things that is good about Burnt Hills is that I would say we don't have a drug problem. Even though, of course, drugs are all over the school. It's significantly less, and I don't think it interferes with people's ability to accomplish work in class.
Yeah, I mean the main drug, like I mean most of the people in our school will use weed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd say
there's
at
tons
least
of people
85 to 90% of the kids.
Yeah, which is like a ridiculous number. But, but I mean it
really does. I mean our graduation rate is still like 98%.
Yeah, and even the people who are like considered the highest up, people who are getting the best grades. Yeah. It's like everybody does it. But it's like. And you could argue that that's a problem or that it's not a problem, but regardless of that, you could argue that it's definitely better than doing heroin.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Which is what everybody else is doing, right? I have no bounds for argument there because I don't have a piece of data that says everybody at Boston Spa is addicted to heroin. But it's certainly a possibility. What other problems? What are some other issues? I know we just discussed the fact that vaping is going down, but I think there are some other problems related to that. You got anything? You got anything interesting for that?
Not on the top of my head. I mean,
there's got to be. Man, it's just really interesting. I mean, the whole thing about vaping is just really interesting because it's gotten so popular so quickly. It's simply because of its simplicity. I mean, literally simply because of its simplicity.
Yeah, and
it's so easy to do. It's cheap. It's not necessarily safe, but it's certainly safer than cigarettes.
Yeah.
So it's become really popular. One thing I do think we have a problem with, upperclassmen selling lowerclassmen garbage. Right?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Those people seriously got problems.
It's like one thing, like you could arguably say that somebody who sells drugs is morally wrong. Like you could argue that one way or another, but selling fake drugs is like nobody is gonna think that that's right. That's just a shitty thing to do.
It's unfair.
You know? It's just unfair. Like that's just ridiculous. I can't stand that anybody would do that to somebody.
Yeah.
Can't stand it. It's a horrible thing to do.
And I'm sure they try to use the excuse like, oh, this freshman wants him. I'm trying to save his future by giving him freaking parsley and charging him $100 for it. But that's not really why they're doing it. They're doing it for the money and the scam.
Mm-hmm. And they feel good about it. It's like, oh, they see all these freshmen that are like placeboing, right? They're like, I'm so high.
Absolutely.
It's like, I'm pretty sure that you're not.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, yeah. All right. I want you to tell the story about what happened to Riley.
Oh, all right. So, should I use names? Or,
just whatever. Like, it doesn't matter.
So, a kid named Caleb gives him an apple cider donut in a regular apple cider donut bag. And he says, ooh, it's a weed nut. It's got weed in it. And Riley, being a stupid, naive moron, he takes it and he starts being an idiot in class. And he's just like, he doesn't know what he's supposed to be doing. So he's just like, man, like just acting like a tool. And so what I think happened was, like, the people around him aren't used to that stuff either. So they're kind of getting a little bit giddy and excited about it. So they went to the teacher and they're like, oh, I don't think Riley's feeling right or something. And so he got called up and he's like, he snapped right out of it, obviously. And the teacher was like, you need to go to the nurse. And he's like, no, I'm fine. And she's just like, I think you need to go to the nurse. So he goes to the nurse, and I think from there he went to the principal's where he was sat in front of Brunson, and he was just like, from what I heard, Caleb was also called in because Riley, ratted on him, said, oh, he gave me, a donut. And Riley apparently looked just absolutely beat red, just scared the shitless. And he got sent home early.
Which he probably enjoyed, right?
Oh yeah.
Which is unfortunate. But yeah, that's just absolutely hilarious. And
yeah,
I mean, of course, we were just discussing. I mean, people selling fake stuff. Now, this is a little bit different.
Yeah, this was just
a little bit different.
That...
Now, I mean, technically, what we're doing is we're kind of. It is a form of bullying, but bullying is okay if it's funny enough. Don't quote me on that one. But in this case, I think it's okay. I just think that's hilarious.
Yeah. As long as it's not personal, I think it's.
Mm-hmm. Now, as a general thing, we aren't going to be necessarily naming specific people that we don't like on this podcast. Not a good idea, right?
Yeah.
I am not trying to be
suspended,
expelled, whatever. Even though I think the fact that they could do such a thing for something like this is complete BS.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous.
It's outside of school.
I don't care. Sometimes you have to play by the system. There's a lot of laws I disagree with, but I'm not going to break them because I'm not a retard. I'm not going to jail. Anyways, we will talk about specific people if we talk about people that we like. All right? Let's name high-quality individuals. This is how we determine, right? We say not just a good person, right? High-quality individuals, right? Name some, like, high-quality individuals. I got a couple in my mind, but, like, who's a high-quality individual at our school? Somebody who you could trust,
High quality. Well, a person who comes off the top, like right off the top of my head, would be Austin Van Buren. Who
literally the first person I was thinking of.
Yeah, it's cool how he's he's mellowed out and he's a nice guy.
I think a lot of people would say that towards the end of 8th grade he's kind of insufferable to a degree, and then literally he was just like complete 180 and just got better and better and better and better. And you know what? Maybe it was just me. Maybe I just got better and I started to see him as better or get along with him more. All I know, absolute unit. Love the guy.
Yeah.
Literally nicest guy ever. He is a chameleon. Will hang out with anybody.
Yeah.
Amazing guy. Amazing guy.
Yeah, and what I love about him is how his charismatic nature, how he can just be so funny, you know.
He just gets along with everybody.
Yeah.
It's just incredible how he can do that.
Yeah, you can just like peek right over your shoulder, say something stupid, funny thing.
Yeah,
and you're just
100% agree with him.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. Let me name some other people. We'll make it a goal for this podcast that each time each of us will name one person that we believe to be a high quality individual.
Yeah.
Colin Digman.
Yeah.
High quality individual.
Yeah.
Colin Digman is great. He's not as much of a social chameleon, and that's because he's very he's a little more introverted than the others. But he will hang out with anybody as long as you're not an asshole or retarded, right?
And he knows his shit.
He knows his shit, yeah, and he stays quiet, which is something I can respect as somebody who isn't, right? I have very similar opinions to him on stuff like abortion, and I'm not even getting into my specific opinion.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Now that I think of it, I don't know if we share the same opinion on that. But
No, I think we do.
No, not necessarily you and me. I'm talking about me and Colin.
Oh,
right. But
right.
We share very similar political opinions and whatnot. But
Yeah.
the difference is I'm usually a little more aggressive with sharing those opinions. But he's like I ain't getting out there and giving people crap for this. And I'm like, 100% respect you for doing that. He 100% respects me. So even though we do those things a little bit differently, we're both able to continue to be friends and hang out. And for that reason, I believe he's a high-quality individual.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would name low-quality individuals, but that is not a good idea.
Yeah, our school has a plethora.
A plethora. I would say a strong majority.
Yeah.
It's, to some degree, it's just people we just don't know that well. And when you don't know somebody, a lot of times all you see is the bad.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, the people who have it, great and can reach out to people like that and will do it, those are high quality people. But the people who just would rather give them a look and then talk shit about them behind their back, those are just or people who pretend to like oh yeah, what's up, man, even though he's just being a douchebag. He's completely fucking with him. That really pisses me off.
I know we've had a discussion on this before, but that douchebag is like my favorite insult.
Yeah,
it's just great because it describes such a wide variety of people.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I know a lot of them. And I mean, there's plenty of people who would probably say I am a douchebag. And with all respect, some of those people, depending on the circumstances of their relationship with me, may be correct. Right? But I personally don't believe I'm a d-bag, right? I mean, which is something anybody would say, right? I don't even know why I just said that. That was so stupid. But anybody, regardless of what they do, you can literally be a murderer and be like, I'm a good person.
Well, that's the illness stalking.
Yeah, man. I think we can definitely group people though. We can say that there's like these groups of people, right? Like there are some people in our school. And I'm not saying any groups of people, but you know who I'm talking about when I say that are just so incompetently stupid, so dumb that you could say something so obvious to them and it would just go over their head. These are the type of people who are faking burps, right? These are the type of people who are making comments to autistic kids purposefully, right? They are going out of their way to make fun of these people. These are just terrible, garbage human beings, right? Who have absolutely no intention of ever advancing their career. They have no intention of ever advancing their grades or anything. They are just stuck there, and they're just like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and smoke heroin.
Yeah, they just enjoy the label of being an asshole. Yeah, a lot of times.
It's like if you enjoy being considered an asshole, you have created a problem. And there was a period of time where that was me. I enjoyed that, and then I realized that that's sadistic, and that's just not right. That's not something you should be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that group of people. That was a really vague description, I realize, but there's just that group of people who are just assholes, and they just enjoy being assholes. And then there are a lot of the people in that. You know what? I'm going to divide into another group because there's these people who, even on their own, completely separate from any group, they are just horrible asshole people.
Yeah.
But there's a difference, and here's the difference between the second group. The second group, the people are only a-holes if they are in an entire group together, right? Individualistically speaking, though, they're not.
They can be normal, just normal people. Like, they can just,
Exactly.
shoot the breeze and be cool with you. But when it comes to other people that are around, they want to impress or, like, look cool in front of, they'll just go out of their way to act like a douchebag.
Yeah, 100% can't stand that. Right.
Yeah.
And that actually bothers me more because I feel like the first group is kind of a lost cause to some degree, where, like, even if you were to reach out to them, it's just too much work on your part. Literally, you're going to reach out to them and be like, hey, do you want to hang out? Do you want to be friends? And we can...
They don't care. They'll just be like...
They're just going I mean, it's just going to be something like that, right? But if you go up to the other group, right, they're going to be more likely to accept you. And if you do end up hanging out with that person, they're not going to be a douche around you because they're not with their friends. And that doesn't mean that their friends are douches either. They're only that together. Although there's usually one ringleader in the group who is, regardless of any circumstances, a douche.
Yeah.
But unlike the first group, they're not so bad that nobody wants to hang out with them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? All right. We'll save more stereotyping for the next episode. We're at 16 minutes. Holy crap, that was quick. So we're going to talk about one other thing. Classes. Name a class that you don't like.
I mean, I don't like statistics just because I can't stand how boring it is. Like, she'll just, like, the first 20, 30 minutes, I'm like, all right, yeah, I get it, whatever. It's, but that's when my brain just shuts down. Like, I'm just done. I'm looking around, and I'm like, I can't even focus, even if I wanted to.
I don't even think that's a statistics thing, because I actually focus a lot better. I think that's a math thing. That's a math thing, because statistics is actually the easiest math class I've ever taken, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
It was a great decision taking the class. The class that I can't stand is AP Government. AP Government is ridiculous. Here's why, right? It's government. So we're talking about politics. Politics are debatable. They are ever changing, and everybody has a different opinion. So how do you ask questions about stuff? Well, you can ask questions about history, like you can have a regent's question. I'm sorry, this would be a college board question. You can have a college board question that talks about the Constitution or something like that, anything historical. Yeah. But as soon as you get into, like, showing me data and being like, analyze what this data means in terms of some movement, it's like, it might mean something totally different to me based on my personal opinion.
Yeah.
And some people are like, somebody in my class literally said this, well, it's a vague question, so you can give a vague answer. Here's the thing, though. This is what College Board wants. They're going to give you a vague question, and they want a specific answer, right? If you give a vague answer, they're going to give you a crappy grade, even though they gave you a crappy question. Crap in, crap out. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
So AP Gov, terrible class. Although, you have to take government, right? I know. Are you taking regular government?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's a lot of the questions. Yeah, they're opinion-based.
Are you already taking regular government?
Yep.
Okay. The one problem, you have to do community service, right?
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous how you don't, but
I don't. I have to do less work than he does, and I get college credit for it.
It's so stupid.
Even though they're both they're both BS. Both BS. Wait a minute, so you're taking it right now, but you're taking it with Mr. Kane, right?
Yeah.
All right, so he's probably a little bit different. Mrs. Tolan teaches. I actually like Mrs. Tolan. I just don't like the way she teaches the class because she tends to waste a lot of class time on stuff that I don't think is relevant at all.
Yeah.
But still, that's ridiculous. All right, we are at 19 minutes and 30 seconds. Let's make this an even 20 minutes.
All right.
Closing statements. You got anything else you want to say about Burnt Hills before we make another podcast, like next week or something like that?
I think it's a nice place. It's just there's these underlying issues that I think we should spread awareness about.
Which is every school, but I mean, we discussed this today. I don't like the word awareness, but in this context, it kind of works because autism awareness is dumb. Because I know I've never been to an autism awareness thing, and I know it exists. Do you know that? Did you know that autism exists?
Yeah.
All right,
it's
so
pretty common
everybody's aware, so
knowledge.
your movement's pointless. We already know, right? Did you know that breast cancer is a thing?
Yeah.
Did you know that men can get breast cancer?
Wait, they can?
Okay, well, he didn't know that. But we
Okay.
both know that breast cancer exists, so that movement's dumb too, right? It's like, stop, or at least stop calling it a breast cancer awareness movement. Start calling it an anti-breast cancer movement, right? Or just call it a charity, right? Just call it a charity.
Yeah.
But
I mean-
in this case, awareness, in terms of our school, awareness is actually important because, like,
Yeah.
it's
it's
then,
also-
even though no, it's a stretch. Like, everybody knows that douchebags exist.
It's more
you know?
more so that people can be like, they can relate, and they can be like, oh yeah, we share that
Yeah.
belief a little bit.
Mhm. Yeah, I can agree with that. All right. Well, that's going to be the end of our podcast. Tune in next week, and we're going to post another one. Although, it's not going to be consistent. Don't expect this every Friday. Don't expect this every Saturday. I'm going to post it when I want. Why? It's a free country. I'll do whatever I want, right? Mason might post one. I might post one. I don't really care. So, peace out.